I'm Claudia Zimmerman, and Kyle and I work here in Buenos Aires, Argentina, with a local church, national Presbyterian church called La Misión, and it's a multi-congregational model. So we have four congregations meeting in different parts of the city and the province. Each part of the city has its own characteristics and challenges, social, economic class, etc. So it really does bring reconciliation and unity to have these different congregations and then have people serving and walking alongside each other, people that maybe they wouldn't in normal life situations. And so Kyle and I specifically work in the Flores community, which is in the south side of the city, in one of the poorer parts of the city, surrounded by shanty towns. And then we also serve in Palermo, which is more of the upside scaled um, part of the city where you have, I don't know, it's like downtown if you think of a city, and it's where you'll have more of your young professionals, college students, internationals. And then Kyle teaches carpentry in Merlo, which is an hour outside of the city in the province, which is a different kind of poverty from the city poverty, and a lot of, um, I was thinking what Rachel said, just a lot of trauma, a lot of very difficult situations. So that's a little bit in a nutshell. And we do everything from discipleship to I work in the administrative office as one of the secretaries, and then everything in between. So um, recently, a lot of the older youth have been pursuing us to step in since one of the couples left that was working with the young professionals and the university students. And so Kyle, as an elder of the church, was seeing some needs and unhealthy dynamics developing within some of the leadership. So we've started to step in some. And also we have one of the university students living with us. We lost our daughter went away to college, and then we got a new daughter. We joke that she's our new Sarah. So she's living with us, and she is walking through a trauma that she recently lived in Colombia. And so she's back here in Argentina, um, back at school. She was part of my lady small group before. And so, anyways, we're just praying with her and kind of walking her through this trauma, and through the connection with her and some of the other university young professionals, we've started to step back into that slowly, having the youth over our house. And next week we'll be speaking at their university gathering at church. So it's just kind of, I don't know, we joke about it with Kyle that we're empty nesting, and yet the Lord's just filling our nest in different ways. And so it's just kind of, I feel like this parallel lives going on in my heart. Like there's this deep sadness as we empty nest and walk with our youngest, who is home without her siblings. And yet watching God, people ask us, are you guys going back to the States? Are you, taking a sabbatical? Are you, and it's just very overwhelming at times, those questions, because we don't have answers. We just know God has us here in Argentina, and the call has not changed. And as Sarah was leaving, we were also receiving an intern. We have our first missions intern under our wing. She's here for 2 years. And so she's also helping us with the university ministry and different things around the church right now. She's in an orientation time, just kind of working on language and documents and things like that. So you can see like this parallel prayer request. There's like this sadness and adaptation and new season coming for all of us in our family. And yet you just see the Lord just keep, pressing, go, go do this, go do that. And so we're thankful for that. So um, keep praying for us as all these new ministries begin to develop, and we continue with our small groups, and Kyle continues with the micro enterprise, working on new products, taking on some new apprentices, and that's always great because it's a chance to one-on-one Bible study and then hands-on work, and then also provide a stipend. And so that has been growing, and we're thankful for that. But with that has come more of a financial burden for us here in Argentina. As inflation continues, it's 4% again this month. So it's been 4% every month, which is better than 24% in December. But it's still over 100 for the year. And the dollar exchange is dropping, which is good for Argentines, not as good for us. And so we are finding that we are finally receiving the brunt of that inflation as people are retiring or dying on our support, which is kind of sad. I mean, it's just kind of this, I guess we're at that phase. We've been on the field for over 16 years, and we've had faithful, wonderful partners that have partnered with us for 16 years. But obviously, life has taken its toll and changes for them. And so we really need to keep working on new contacts and new supporters. And we're thankful. Like I said, I sound like I'm on adrenaline. I'm sorry. We're thankful when we took Sarah to school in Ohio. Kyle got to visit 2 churches in Ohio, and then through Isaiah's car breaking down and having to get that car broken down in Virginia and get him a new car. We did all this in like 2 weeks. It's insane. Got Isaiah a new car, took it to him at school at Lookout Mountain. While there, a church from Rome, Georgia contacted us as well. And so it's really crazy. Within 2 weeks, we were able to meet with 3 new churches and touch base with partners in Memphis. So we're thankful. It was just a crazy, crazy time, but God is again pushing us forward, even though we may just want to languish. That's my new word. Don't languish in your sadness. Come on. And so just kind of walking through those changes. But anyways, we're thankful. I'm sure I'm forgetting things. We're walking with one of the moms who has cancer, and we've been praying for her. She starts radiation next week, and her son is one of the guys in the micro enterprise. So that has been a beautiful picture of the integral ministry, the holistic and different areas that we serve in. So I think for today, that's good. Just keep our family in prayer as we adapt. Sarah's doing well. Her biggest struggle right now is trying to understand inches, feet. The other day, she's like, "Mom, what's quartz?" And I'm like, "It's a stone." And I hear Kyle in the background go, "No, liquid quartz." I'm like, "Oh, yeah. I forgot." It's so she's kind of struggling with some of that, and she's having a hard time. Like, she has biology labs and chemistry labs, and it's just a lot to take in with the English. She's found great Latino friends and even went to a Latino church plant. And yet she's connecting with the missionary kids. And so we're really thankful for her. And Isaiah is in his senior year at Covenant and is an RA and has lots of big challenges because at Covenant they have like a capstone thesis program thing to do. So he's got some challenges ahead as he tries to figure out life after college as well. And Abby is a senior here in Argentina. She'll graduate here. School ends in December, opposite seasons. And she's processing the sadness of not having her siblings here and just trying to figure out what's next. Is she going to go to college in the States, or will she stay here in Argentina, which is also a possibility. So speaking of mental health, she's the one that has walked through some major anxiety since COVID. And so we continue to pray for her and work through that as she is maturing and growing in Christ through her difficulties. So I think I could go on and on forever. So thank you so much for your prayers and your encouragement. I love hearing about everything going on and share about the testimony of this time at Memorial Park. That's always been such a blessing, especially since COVID. And so excited to see everything Memorial Park is doing and serving around the world. So thanks.
You're a big part of it, you know? Yeah,
You.
that was a fire hose. So I'm going to
Oh,
ask Leah to pray, not expecting that she wrote, I've got 2 pages of notes and I missed a lot. That was an
you're
awesome
gonna laugh
update.
because I looked at Kyle in Cedarville and they kept talking about drinking out of a fire hose. And I looked at Kyle and I go, isn't the saying drinking out of a fire hydrant? And he goes, no, you grew up in New York City. Yes, it's drinking out of a fire hydrant, but everywhere else it's drinking out of a hose. I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So now every time I hear drinking out of a fire hose, I laugh because I'm like,
Yeah.
isn't it a fire hydrant?
In New York City, I guess, right?
It is. It is. So there you go. Little background
Yeah,
for you guys. I
I
grew up
feel
in
with
New York.
life sometimes it's just hanging on, right? I'm just
Oh
just
man.
hanging on, Lord. This is so far beyond me. I have just this much capacity, and yet you're asking this, and I'm just going to hang on. And yeah, it's good,
Yeah,
right?
we could.
Because He takes us places that we never
Yeah, we just.
expected. And
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely pray for us to just continue to have peace and clarity as to
yeah,
where He's guiding us, and let that not give us anxiety.
yeah,
He will show us if it's time to go or say, it's just that question. When everybody bombards you with that question because your kids are going off to college and you've been on the
yeah,
field for 16 years, it's a natural question. Like people here keep bracing themselves, afraid that we're going to say we're leaving. And people back home are, when are you coming back? And it's just kind of this like, you just love talking to other missionaries because they get it. They get it and they're with you and they've walked those questions. And we're just thankful for that
and
missionary
you've been
family
glue.
community.
You have been glued to that community that's had a lot of different changes and
Oh,
hardships,
man.
and you've had to step up into so many different roles, and you're like, okay, Lord, here I am, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So thank you.
Thank you.